curious characters with colorful hair, girls falling in love with a guy, girls falling in love with other girls, action, disemboweled stuffed animals, Japanese super comedy, fanservice, and gender bender, result in a nice anime called Kämpfer, a word coming from German that translates as fighters. What's up guys? I'm Mr. Botaku and let's talk about Kämpfer. This is the story of Natsuru Sino, an ordinary high school boy with a pretty normal teenage life, with teenage problems, such as unrequited love and one or another social life problem. All within the normal teenage penis life, and after taking his last night piss with his penis, he goes to sleep, once again everything normal, until... In the morning Natsuru wakes up and discovers that he no longer has a penis and has transformed into a woman to whom a stuffed tiger introduces himself as a messenger and informs him that he has become a Kämpfer. And everyone says what the fuck is a Kämpfer, but I already explained, Kämpfers are fighters. The stuffed tiger informs him that he must fight against other Kämpfers and these Kämpfers must be women. Natsuru transforms into a female version of himself and the symbol that he is a Kämpfer is a metal bracelet whose color determines his team. A bit of a crazy day indeed. Well, all these magical things exist in this world, because it's an anime and we all know that in anime there is magic. The next day he is gently approached by Akane Mishima, a Kämpfer with a gun. As a good protagonist Natsuru saves Akane from a lamppost and then defends his friend and love interest Kid Sakura from Akane's aggression. Another day later, Natsuru is approached by another girl. But this time it was someone very shy who introduces herself as Akane. Yes, apparently the violent girl is her version of a Kämpfer. Akane shares everything she knows about these Kämpfer with Natsuru. And since they've become friends, when they switch to her Kämpfer form her bracelets are blue, the color of friendship. But when she's an opponent the bracelet turns red, the color of enmity. Suddenly Kid is turned around and tells Natsuru that she has fallen in love with his Kämpfer form. While receiving guidance from Akane, both are ambushed in the school library by a Kämpfer. Akane suspects Kid and as she is a trigger happy she shoots her. Natsuru manages to deflect the shot and this moment is taken advantage of by the attacker to leave the place. Natsuru deduces that this attacker also attends his school and starts to get a little paranoid. Shizuku Sango, the student council president, interrogates our Kämpfers to get them to talk about what happened in the library. But this leads to nothing. Later Natsuru in her female form has a date with Kid. This little girl wastes no time and asks Natsuru to be her girlfriend. But the moment is interrupted when Shizuku reveals himself as the enemy. And they start a fight. After a hard fight Akane manages to defeat Shizuku, and just when he was about to finish her off Natsuru saves him by asking them to leave Kid out of the fight. But, in order to leave Kid out of all this, Shizuku asks Natsuru to transfer to the special class where there were only girls. So Natsuru started attending school in her Kämpfer form. As a girl Natsuru was the opposite of her male version, she quickly became popular and the desire of many intensities. Many girls were attracted to her, and even proposed to her and everything. To put an end to this situation and the rumors, Shizuku revealed a story claiming that Natsuru girl was dating Natsuru boy. Overwhelmed by so many things Natsuru goes to the library where he reverts to his male form, only to be reprimanded by Akane and confronted by Kid, declaring war on him for the love of Natsuru female. Then it turns out that Shizuku entered Natsuru in the Miss Sayatsu beauty pageant as the cultural festival approaches. And to relax the moment Shizuku approaches Natsuru for a slightly weird massage. However Akane interrupts the racy moment. Anyway, Natsuru is forced to compete. Then they go to karaoke where the girls fight for a chance to perform a duet with Natsuru. Kid tries to force Natsuru to respond to her confession but Natsuru can't because she almost changes into her male form. Akane scolds Kid for trying to confess, behind her back, and the two of them along with Shizuku decide to join the beauty contest as well. The cultural festival is about to begin. Kid confronts Akane once again. It seems that he really loves Natsuru girl. Later, Natsuru boy meets Kid and encourages her even though she still sees him as her competition. The day of the contest comes. Natsu doesn't have an act to present. The guy didn't know what to do, but Kid shows up and does a skit throwing a bouquet of flowers to the audience. Akane in his Kämpfer form and in cowgirl cosplay interrupts the moment and starts shooting and almost makes out with Natsu. But Shizuku appears, and pim pam victory for Shizuku. After this curious competition, Natsuru wakes up in his male form just to receive a tremendous kiss from Shizuku. Their first kiss. Oh, how romantic! Kämpfer Natsuru is forced to participate in a maid cafe to the delight of the other girls. She is then joined by Shizuku to warn her of the imminent arrival of another Kämpfer, plus she tells her about the disemboweled stuffed animals. Natsuru rejects Kid, who was asking for a kiss, and instead proposes to go out to enjoy the festival. While entering a horror house, Natsuru is ambushed by a red Kämpfer whom Natsuru identifies as Makoto, another childhood friend. By confronting her, she leaves Kid alone in the horror house. Akane intervenes, and then Shizuku too. The latter calms things down and asks them to return to their normal ways. The girl accepts the ceasefire as she seems to want to find out something. After this tense moment, Natsu apologizes to Kid for leaving her alone, and the girl doesn't miss the opportunity and invites Natsuru to spend the night at her house. Natsu accepts and is accompanied by Akane and Shizuku to the residence, where he gets to see one of those disemboweled stuffed animals. At the place, Kid starts a hot game, where two people have to bite a Pocky at the ends. Akane didn't feel like playing. How disgusting, she said. However, she plays with Shizuku, and in the second round she plays with Natsuru, although the friend breaks the stick. After failing with Natsuru, Kid concludes the game and shows his huge collection of disemboweled stuffed animals. A collection that includes a prototype, the lion burned alive. Shady it is. Makoto suddenly enters with a curry pit, which they splash on Natsuru, the perfect pretext for our protagonist to take a shower. While he was sleeping, Natsuru returns to his male form. Just here, Kid enters the room and gets into bed with him. But that's not all. Akane also enters the room determined to propose to Natsu, but the moment is interrupted by Rika Ueda, a white Kämpfer who runs away when Shizuku confronts her, so she only arrived to break a window. Shizuku seemed to be developing a real attraction to the male Natsu, so she asks him out. Natsuru didn't know if it was a genuine date, but from Shizuku's behavior he just went along with it. Shizuku asks Natsuru why he loves Kid, and then they have a rather enjoyable day, going to an aquarium and having a picnic. She talks about the Kämpfer conflict, remembering a fallen comrade. She asks Natsuru if she senses any link between Kid and the moderators, but Natsuru doesn't care and takes a little nap, where she has an interesting dream. And wakes up in Shizuku's lap. The date seemed to culminate in a sweet kiss, but the lovebirds are interrupted by an angry Makoto. Shizuku annoys her even more with her comments. Listening to Makoto, Akane decides to go to Natsuru's house and asks him what kind of girl besides Kid he would prefer. She changes when he mentions that he would like someone like Akane and makes him promise to go on a date with her at the pool. Oh yeah, couldn't miss this chapter. So now they have a beautiful summer date at the pool, but they couldn't have their moment because as soon as they arrive, Shizuku and the others show up. In addition, 3 white Kämpfers also appear in the place. While walking, female Natsuru is attacked and surrounded by the 3 white Kämpfers, known as Sayaka Nakao, Raika Namakawa, and Hitomi Managawa, a real tongue twister. Akane and Shizuku rescue Natsuru, but Shizuku tells him that Natsuru was used as bait to persuade the white Kämpfers to identify themselves. However, they ended up running away instead of fighting them on equal terms. Later at the hotel, male Natsuru and the girls were having a nice time. Akane, and Makoto say they are impressed by Natsuru's date with Shizuku. And just at this moment Shizuku plants a tremendous kiss to our protagonist in front of all the girls. After this, Kid invites Natsuru Man to accompany her to another room. Natsuru, captivated by the movement of Kid, accepts. And being alone, Kid caresses Natsuru so that he obeys her. So they both go outside to watch the fireworks. Sitting close together, Kid with a very cloudy face asks Natsuru to make Shizuku hers. Yes, apparently she had hypnotized him because Natsuru didn't remember to leave the room. Upon returning, Kid whispers something to Shizuku, confirming the suspicions he already had about her. The next day she takes Natsuru home to inform her about Kid and the burnt alien stuffed animal. Here she reveals to her that Tomiko, a close friend of hers, was killed at a camp and she has sworn revenge on whoever was guilty. And her prime suspect is Kid. When Natsuru confronts Kid about this, she hypnotizes him once again. The girls wake up tied up and Natsuru, hypnotized, was going to kill them, but thanks to the keychain Shizuku gave her, she manages to free herself from her trance, claiming that despite her deep feelings for Kid, she would not betray or harm her friends. This declaration inspires the other girls to fight even harder by helping them break free and easily destroy the white Kämpfer. Against the wall, Kid tries to lure Natsuru once again, who returns to his male form, removing himself from the battle and out of Kid's reach. And all ends well, but after all this, on Christmas morning Natsuru discovers that he and his disemboweled messenger plushie have switched bodies or something. The stuffed animal in Natsuru's body goes for a walk where he meets Natsu's friends, all of whom had undergone the same body swap. The messengers enjoy their new bodies until they are caught stealing food and are forced to perform in a show. After this they meet Kid, who has reflected on her sins. She takes them to an amusement park. Kid visits a church to confess her sin of engaging in indecent behavior with numerous women at the same time. The little nuns on the student council decide to punish her, but the messengers get her out of there, although they end up fighting each other. After discovering that they can feel pain, they merrily fly away, literally on a sled. After saying goodbye to Kid, all the events seem to be some kind of very strange Christmas fable. What Christmas lesson do you find in all this? This ending is like when Oliver Atom wakes up and he has no legs, and next to him he has Ash Ketchum in a coma. But well, this is how this nice anime ends. Tell me in the comments what you think. Give this video a megastita, subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next video. Okay, I love you very much for getting this far. Bye.